Lange, Seed Investment Consultants, Director and Chief Investment Officer. Today we're going to be chatting briefly about investment multi-management. This may be hard to believe, but I think in this information technology age that we're in, there is an abundance of and an overload of information, which makes it extremely difficult for most people out there. And I think when there's this abundance of information, actually decision making becomes not that easy. I think for this reason, most people should really focus on their vocation and on wealth generation and actually saving money for their retirement, especially as investing becomes very specialized. And in that way, rather look for those investment specialists to assist and help in the investment component of that. With the amount of not only information overload, but just the sheer complexity comes in terms of the sheer number of options and funds out there for investors. Locally there's around about 2,000 funds, globally over 250,000 funds, and this includes, say, 25,000 ETFs, exchange traded funds. And these are increasing on a day-by-day basis. And then when you add to the mix the range of segregated portfolios, bank-structured products, hedge funds, listed investment trusts, cryptocurrencies that are coming to the fore now, it really does get extremely complex for investors out there. So as an investment advisor, Seed has always structured itself as an independent multi-manager. And really, in essence, what does that mean? It means that we assess the array of options out there. We do a certain amount of due diligence on the various funds and managers. We then look at how best to combine those different funds and solutions into a portfolio for our clients. In essence, what we're trying to do is take the complexity and really try and simplify it down as best as possible for our investors. The due diligence process is obviously critically important, as I mentioned there, and this takes up the bulk of our time. And really, you can distill it down to sort of 5 main components. Performance is critical, absolutely, and not only just the actual numbers, but how was that performance delivered, generated. We need to understand that. A critical component is the people aspect. We need to understand the people behind the different funds. Then we need to look at their philosophy, what type of investment philosophy they have. Following on from that is a process. Have they got a defined process, and are they maintaining that process on a consistent basis? That ultimately then feeds into the portfolio construction. How have they constructed their portfolio? So these are the main building blocks of the due diligence process that we look at. In looking and assessing the different range of solutions out there, what we are seeing more and more is an increase in specialization of different fund managers. We know, for example, in the equity space, we've got growth managers, we've got growth at a reasonable price, we've got value managers, we've got quality. Increasingly so, we're seeing that type of specialization of fund managers. As an example of a bespoke or very niche fund manager or solution that we have used in our fund is a credit manager that only provides credit to the renewable energy space. So it gives a bit of a sense of the type of specialization out there. So it's often quoted that diversification is the only free lunch out there. Clearly it's an important component. That is because it reduces risk of loss without giving up too much on the investment return. Diversification is an important aspect in that we look at combining funds with low correlation or ideally negative correlation. And what are we trying to achieve? Well, we're trying to achieve the sort of optimal outcome for our clients in their portfolios when we're constructing funds. So really it means having a good and clear understanding of the building blocks and how these different building blocks can fit together. So really we think the ability to combine all these different components is really what makes a multi-manager like Seed, we believe, an absolute necessity for all investors.